Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sandra if you have not been here before, and today I'm getting back off of another weekend. I'm getting excited about makeup. I'm doing a video about a palette that I have wanted to do for a while, and it's not really, it's going to be a neutral eye, but it's not a conventional neutral eye. So I will be using Jeffree Star's Blue Blood palette to create this neutral eye look. And at first when I thought about doing my makeup today, I was like, I'm gonna go for the just a black cat eye, no shadow, with like bright red lips. And then I figured, well, I can still do bright red lips with a neutral eye. So we're just gonna get into this look and we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna prime with my Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. So my face, you know, I haven't really been talking about my skin lately, and that's because it feels really good. It finally got its moisture back. I don't feel like my skin is tight, but I do always make sure to put something on it at nighttime because I find that really helps. And then the next morning my skin feels nice and soft and smooth and just not that tight feeling. Well, for those of us with dry skin, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm using a drugstore foundation today. I realized that I've been using my higher end foundations a lot. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge and I'm going to shake up this foundation because I haven't used it in a long time. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Pro Matte Foundation in the shade 105 Natural Beige. So I chose a Pro Matte today because, you know, I like changing it up every now and then. I like trying out the foundations, the concealers that I already have, even the powders. So you will see me kind of play around with all of the products I already own. Oh, it just started pouring outside. But yes, so you're going to see me play around with products I already own, but I don't use them all the time on my channel. So basically what that does, for me anyway, I don't know about for you guys, but it makes me feel like I basically went out and bought a new foundation, and now it's like brand new to me again because I don't remember it. So, and then I kind of really determine whether or not I enjoy it. And as for foundations or any products really from the drugstore, if I decide I don't like them anymore, I don't feel so bad about throwing them out because they are really cheap. It's more products from Sephora that you really want to, you know, even before you buy it, you don't want to just buy it and spend, you know, upwards of $30, $40, $50, $60 on the product and then bring it home and realize that you hate it. So I just have to remind everybody once again, if you do buy products from Sephora, they have one of the best policies for returns. So if you truly, truly don't like a product, you can return it. But even to kind of save yourself some money initially and save the company money, it's best to try out the product. So if you go in store, they will give you a free sample of that product if it's in stock and available. So that is a really good customer service point, right? For customers anyway. From a customer standpoint, the return policy is amazing, which is how it should be because you're spending a lot of money on these products. So you don't want to buy it and then find out that you can't return it. Products that I get from Ulta, however, cannot be returned. They probably can, but I'll probably end up spending more on shipping than I would just keeping the product and trying to use it. All right, so we're all blended out, and now I am going to go in with my e.l.f. color correcting stick. This is Peach for dark under eye circles. It's exactly what I use it for. If you guys have been here for any length of time at all, you know that I constantly complain about this. And I'm not one to go and get filler in my eyes. I wouldn't get filler in my lips. And number one, because honestly, I'm kind of scared of the pain. Like, not that I don't like how it looks in some people. I hate that dentist. Why would I go in and purposely give myself pain? I'm not even going to get into the whole like happy the way I look thing, because if you want to improve yourself, go for it, right? And the only opinion that should really honestly matter is yours. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks of you. So now I'm going to use my Liquid Camoflage Catrice Concealer. It's Catrice Cosmetics. This is one of the products I got from Ulta in the States. It works really well. I think the reason I got it was because when I first started kind of getting into YouTube and getting back into makeup from a couple of years ago, I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Emily Jean. She's so young, but she just acts so mature, and I just love watching her videos. And now she does a lot of vlogging, and I'm not as into that as I was her makeup tutorials or even her trips. When people vlog trips, I really like those videos. That's why I want to even just drive to Red Deer and vlog my experience. I think that'd be cool. But anyway, so she was using this, and she learned about this product from Nikki Tutorials, who lives in Sweden. So I was like, hey, like, if it's cheap enough, and guess what? It's like $6. And yeah, sure, you pay US on it, but like US prices, but still, $6? So cheap. And as long as it works, and I find it does, like, as long as I use this correcting stick underneath, and this shade, so this is 015 Honey, you can see, like, my skin already has a lot of golden and yellow undertones, and olive, I guess I should say golden olive undertones, and this is even more yellow than my skin. Oh, and you know what we're going to do? I just put it away and didn't even think about it. I'm going to highlight today. And this is a little bit lighter than the 020 shade that I have. So this is Honey, and that one is, so yeah, I'm going to use a powder contour today. So we will just go in and highlight all of the highlighting areas. Highlighting areas. Right, and then I'm going to take the other pointy side of my sponge and just tap out my concealer, blend it into the foundation. And honestly, you're covering it with powder anyway, anywhere. Technically, I mean, you don't have to set areas of your face, whether it's concealer or foundation, if that area doesn't crease that bad. For me, my forehead and under eye creases, but if you do set your entire face, your makeup lasts much, much longer. So that is a tip for y'all. And even if it is not completely blended out, like here you can see this is really, really bright and this is dark, but I'm going to go in with my contour, I'm going to darken my perimeter of my face, I'm going to add translucent powder on top. So you will see once that step is complete, even if there is like a small area where you haven't blended this out perfectly, you're not going to see it. So I am bringing some of this concealer up onto the lid to prime for shadow. I'm actually so excited to start playing with my Jeffree Star palette again with Blue Blood. And I know from his last collection, like his Jawbreaker video, where he was talking about the release for Jawbreaker, he was saying, wait until you see my fall and winter collection, bitch. Like, man, I can't wait to see what he has in store. And I love concealer, I love powder, I love all of those things. Lip glosses and lipstick, I'm not like, it doesn't really matter to me if I don't have those products. I wouldn't mind trying one of his nude lip glosses though. I think that would be cool. I'm just going to close the window because the buses and the rain is really loud. And now I need a sip of coffee because that was a lot of work. In the morning, this is kind of like my thing. In the morning, I love having coffee with nothing in it except a little bit of milk or cream, because I think I mentioned that before. I don't like drinking anything dark because it stains your teeth. Like, I don't smoke or anything like that, so I try to avoid anything that will stain my teeth, even if I drink like a soda. If I do, if it's like a Coke Zero, I try to drink it with a straw. So in regards to that, if I have an afternoon coffee, I like to add a little bit of sweet cream. And this is a hazelnut coffee, and I kind of like that. It's like a dessert coffee for an afternoon as opposed to like a morning coffee, if that makes sense. I'm going to set my under eye with a powder that I don't like for my under eye because I want to try it again. I'm using the Morphe Bake and Set setting powder in translucent, but I'm not going to bake. I'm going to tap some into the cap. I also have the banana shade, but I think it's too dark right now. I'm going to take a small brush. I'm not talking about my brushes today. I'm not using my Sigma brushes. And really, it's only if I use my Morphe brushes or my Sigma brushes that I talk about them. I kind of been into my miscellaneous brushes lately. Like, I have a really good, I think I've mentioned this before too. I had tons of brushes at one point. I would just go brush crazy and order these really cheap brush sets from Amazon. And I mean, they all work. They probably don't last as long as Sigma brushes. Sigma brushes actually, they're very expensive. And there's another brand, and I can't think of it now, but they're even more expensive. I think it's like $500 for like a 12-piece makeup brush set. But they always come with warranties. If they're that much money, they'll guarantee, like, the product. I know Sigma does for 2 years, and I love Sigma brushes. They are my favorite. The Morphe eye brushes are a second favorite as long as the bristles are synthetic and not natural. I find the natural brushes just wear out so much quicker. But with Sigma, I don't have a problem with that. So yeah, so when I use these miscellaneous ones, like some of them I got from Ipsy Glam Bags. So there's one set that I ordered from Amazon, and I don't really talk about them because times like this, I like to focus on the makeup. And I always like to mention which brush I'm using or something similar so that if anyone's following along or wants to get an idea of what brush to use for what product, you kind of have an idea and you're not just trying to play the guessing game by looking at the brush. Okay, so I still think this powder is kind of drying for my under eye, but my under eye looks quite good right now. So that's the thing, like, I think it's really the combination of products you use, whether the primer, the foundation, the concealer, and the primer. Or I already said primer, I meant powder. But yeah, it kind of depends. Depends on the products that you use together. So now I'm going to go in with my contour. So this is my Tarte Park Ave Princess. So I'm actually going to use like a smaller brush. It's kind of just perfect to fit into the hollows of my cheeks. I'm so tempted to break out my new one because this one's falling apart. But I'm close to hitting pan on these contour shades. So I'm just going to keep at it for now, I guess. And I usually like to contour with only matte shades. So I have one sparkle shade left in this palette and I don't use it unless I'm bronzing with this palette specifically. So right now I'm just going to go in with my temples to warm up my temples, and this kind of creates a narrower forehead, especially if you do have a broad forehead. Warms up your face, balances it out, because I say this time and time and time again, if you're going to add any contour or even bronzer for that matter, if you're going to add it to any area of your face, you also want to add it to other areas of your face to make it look balanced, because it's not going to look natural. It's not going to look, not even just natural, it's just not going to look right. I always add a bit under my lip just to make it makes your lip a little bit more pouty looking under the jaw. Your neck should be slightly darker than your face, and then also my nose. So I'm not going in with like a specific brush for this. Usually I do if I use a cream contour. So my forehead contour is a little dark, so I might just spend a little bit of time blending it out. And you can go in with a larger brush and just swipe over it to blend in the color a bit. But I'm actually going to bring it down on my temples more. So the high points of your face would be like your nose, the tops of your cheekbones, right here on your forehead, your chin, and your cupid's bow. And the rest of the areas of your face can recede more. So those are the other areas that you want to darken up with a contour shade. So now I'm just going to quickly blush. So I'm going to, actually I've got two blushes in front of me. The first is my Benefit Dallas blush. Smells delicious, and this is a rosy bronze shade. So it's really dark, but even for lighter skin tones, you could probably get away with it as long as you do a very light coat, a light dusting. So I usually smile, and this actually, you know what, I notice it helps to blend in my bronzer a bit better, or my contour. So I put this on first, and then I usually top it with a brighter blush. put a bit on my chin, a bit on my nose, and then I usually go in, usually after my bronzer blush is my Papa Don't Peach by Too Faced. This smells kind of delicious too, and it's got a hint of sparkle or a shimmer. And then I just smile and I put it on the apples of my cheeks, so a little bit higher than the Benefit blush. It has a little bit of a gleam, but not much. And I did go in with a matte foundation today, so my face is definitely not as glowy as it would be if I used the Pro Glow. So before I do eyebrows, I'm going to go in with a highlighter. This is the Cheekleaders by Benefit Mini Bronze Squad Highlight, Contour, and Bronze Palette. So I'm going to use the shade Cookie, which I talk about this a little bit, and it has a lot of sparkle, but once you spray your face with a makeup setting spray, it looks really, really pretty. Bridge of my nose, as well as the tip of my nose, my chin, Cupid's bow, and I'll put a dab on my forehead. I don't usually, but we're gonna today. Done. And now let's spray our face, and then we'll go off camera and do eyebrows. Whoa, I almost dropped that. And I think I'm gonna make it last today with Milani. I just need the one spray. So I chose to keep the brows a little bit more simple today. All I used was my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Whiz in medium brown, and then clear brow gel on top. And I feel like it just gave it a little bit more of a natural appearance. I just really brushed in the brow product and just made it look like it was my hairs. So that is done. Actually, I'm really obsessed with my brows right now. I don't know why. Okay. I'm going to use a couple of Morphe brushes for the eye look now, because when I look at this palette, it's kind of difficult to pull off a neutral look. Really, the only neutral shades that you have in here, besides for Cullinan, which is like a really bright highlighter shade, is Wealthy, which is what I would put all over my lid. And then you've got Celebrity Skin, which is more of a brown neutral shade. You've got Priceless over here, which is a little bit lighter than Celebrity Skin. And then you also have Crystal Flash, which is a sparkly shade. That's actually really pretty. And then you've got Power, which is a gray tone. So you don't have a darker brown shade, but I think that I can make this work with maybe Cremated or Undertaker on the outer eye to make it dark. So let's play around. I'm going to use my Morphe E27 to start. It's a really fluffy crease brush. Actually, before we even do that, I'm going to go in with a brush and just lay the shade Wealthy, which is this light skin tone shade, all over the lid. So we'll add this one first. It is lighter than my skin tone around my eyes, and that is on, so that will just kind of help the shadows to not skip. So I'm going to take this E27 brush now, and I'm going to start with Priceless, which is that lighter shade right here, and I really want to blow this out and bring this up pretty high. And now this is really light, so you're not going to see it, but it's just going to help blend in Celebrity Skin when we get to that point. So I'm just kind of using back and forth and then tiny little circular motions here to blend it. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of a smaller brush now. So this is going to be the Morphe E22. Still a fluffy crease brush. We're going to take Celebrity Skin now and bring it more into the crease. And now you can see that there is a little bit of definition there. And then I think what we might have to do is mix Celebrity Skin with the gray Power shade, because I think that it'll be easier to blend. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to dip it in the same brush. I'm going to dip it into Power, and then also dip it into Celebrity Skin, and just concentrate on the crease area. That's really a blue shade too. It's like a blue-gray shade. Definitely very cool. So I have a little bit of fallout, so I'm just going to wipe that away quickly. And then get a little bit of a darker shade. Yeah, it's very hard, but I think I can use Cremated just on the outer corner. So I'm going to take a much smaller brush now. This is going to be my flat, fluffy brush. And this is the brush M503, the Morphe brush. I'm just going to tap it into Cremated and into Power. Mix the two. Tap off the brush really, really good, and then press that onto the outer corner here. And bringing it into the crease just a little bit. And then we're going to go back in with that very first brush we used and just blend. I feel like we have a blue under eye now. So that happens, just take a little bit of your powder. Again, I think I've mentioned this before. Take some powder, put it on your fluffy brush, and just place it under your eye until your makeup is done. So I think that looks good for the upper eye. I don't really want it to be dark because there's not really a shade in there that, like, it's just going to look more blue, and basically it kind of looks blue right now. But I'm going to take the shade Crystal Flush with my finger, and I'm just going to pat it on right here, and it's just going to give the eye a little bit of spark, and then you can kind of dab it into that color on the outside there and just blend it in. And then we're going to go on the lower lash line just with the gray shade, so the shade Power, because anything else is really too blue, and I'm not looking for a blue shade. I want a very neutral shade. So it is important, still connect it to the upper lash line, or where that dark color is on the outer corner of the eye. I'm just using kind of a large pencil brush here, and that is perfect. So now when you're done your shadow, you can wipe away your powder. That probably just helped to like lighten up my face. And then we are going to apply mascara. So I will do that off camera. And I am just going to be using my Maybelline Total Temptation mascara, and this is, I think this is Blackest Black. We'll quickly do lips first, and before we go off, and then I will be doing my Better Than Sex liquid liner before mascara. And I'll just put a very thin coat on the top and maybe make like a tiny little cat eye, and then just load the mascara on like crazy. But before we do that, let's line the lips and fill them in. So I'm using my Milani Color Statement Lip Liner. This is 02 True Red. And I'm not going to fill them in, but I am going to bring it down just a bit. And the lipstick I'm using today, I don't think I've actually used this on my channel. This is by, I think, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, Gigi Hadid, or Gigi Hadid. And it's by Maybelline, and it is the shade Car, Khair. That is all it says. Oh, no, Color Sensational Lipstick. Color Sensational. So I'm not sure if it's a matte. I don't think it is. Let's try it out. Or maybe it is a matte, but it does not match my lip liner. So I'm just going to kind of outline my lips now with this lipstick. Okay, so it is matte, and it's fairly drying. I don't really like the way it feels on my lips. But we're going to go out and do liner and mascara, and we will be right back. The mascara is done. And I think the last thing before we are officially done is highlight the brow bone and the inner corner. So I would like to use the shade Cullinan in the palette just to go with this look. So I'm going to take a smaller pencil brush. No, I lied. I'm using a smudge brush. This is the M213 by Morphe. We're going to go into Cullinan and just dab a tiny bit of the shade on the inside corner right here. And that is very, very bright. So I might just tap that out a little bit here. And then just a smidge under the brow bone. And that is it for this look. And now I just kind of realized I haven't done a cool neutral look. Usually my looks are very warm, and I think it is definitely easier to create a neutral look using the Blood Sugar palette if you were using Jeffree Star's shadow palettes. So this one has a lot of warm tones. It's got a lot of neutrals that you can use for your crease. And Blue Blood just really doesn't. Definitely you can get away with Power and Celebrity Skin, and even if you use 2 shades, you could probably pull off something to that nature. And I think this looks, like, altogether it looks neutral, but when I first put it on my eye, it looked very blue. So that is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it and gave a little inspiration for how another way that you can use the Blue Blood palette to get an everyday look. I'm obsessed with my eyebrows right now. I don't know why. But anyway, that is the completed look. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already done that, and hit the bell button to be notified the next time I post a video. We will see you all next time.